Institute for Environmental Alternatives in '70 with Professor Ron Cohn. And I find that people that study environment today are kind of, they didn't study what I studied. But let me ask you a few quick questions on that. Are you familiar, or do you believe, of course you're familiar with...
I believe in climate change.
You believe in global warming, man-made global warming?
Yes, of course.
Can I ask you this one question then?
Yeah.
And then I'll start believing in it. Because I believe it, but I don't believe in it the way they're telling it. And for this reason, if you were to get on your computer right now and look up history of weather modification programs, you will see a history going back to 1891, where we have private and governmental programs that we spent billions of dollars on up till today on weather and modification programs. In 1954, Eisenhower started the Department of Weather and Climate Modification. Dr. Ben Livingston took that, became known as the father of weather weapons. From 68 to 72, we used those weapons in Vietnam.
Yep.
The UN found out...
Eisenhower also started a nuclear program in the US. The bombs, the little fat boy and little boy.
Thank you.
Yes, I know.
Thank you, but I'm specifically on the environment. In 1974, the UN, when they found out we had used weather weapons, became so enraged that they passed the UN Weather Weapons Treaty banning the use of weather weapons. A leaked document in '95, Weather as a False Multiplier, Controlling the Weather by 2025, correlates with what President Kennedy said in '61, saying we'll use today's technology to control the weather. That is a quote. Now here's my question. Knowing that all these things exist, that we do indeed have the means to control the weather, because these clouds you're seeing up right there right now are all artificial.
Yeah. So
they are not natural. Here's the question. If indeed we have the means to manipulate and control climate and weather with these qualified weapons, why are they never mentioned in any global warming conference? Why are they never mentioned in any global warming article? Why are they never mentioned at all?
we are still on the process.
No,
of
it's because you can't put weather and climate in the same sentence, because
why not?
two are different things.
What's wrong? The only difference between weather and climate is time, because weather over time becomes climate. So you cannot tell me that programs that we spend billions of dollars on specifically to modify weather and climate, did you hear me? Weather and climate, the Department of Weather and Climate Modification. So if we have the ability to do that, we have done it. We have been working with these programs. China made it snow. Look it up.
Yeah, those are all weather controls. Those are
Thank you very much. And if you control the weather over a period of time, it becomes climate. So you cannot go ahead and use that argument.
For that reason, you have to keep on using the weapons every year, and that is, I guess, not helpful to the climate, essentially.
Well, that's why I'm saying if we have global warming, it's not because we're spewing out CO2.
Of course not. And moreover, using a weapon is always a need-to-know basis. So we don't need to know, I guess. We don't know.
But the good thing about weather weapons, or the bad thing about them, is plausible deniability. They're the perfect weapon.
That's your red tape.
I mean, how can you say, well, you caused that hurricane? You know.
I guess 90% people believe God created hurricanes. We are the ones who said no.
We are studying and we are trying to see what is the cause of the hurricane. It might be artificial, it might be natural. What's the cause?
It is artificial.
It's difficult.
They've already steered hurricanes. If you listen to Ben Livingston after Katrina, he was in an interview on InfoWars, and he said, if you had given me 4 airplanes, I could have knocked that hurricane out.
Conspiracy. No.
I'm not talking about conspiracy. I'm talking about fact here.
It cannot be artificial. How can you say a hurricane is artificial? Tsunamis are not artificial.
Look up HAARP, High Altitude Aurora Reception Project.
I get you.
HAARP.
I get you. But then it's almost saying that, well, everything is man-made. No, it's not. You have to.
That's the plausible. Of course, it's not everything is man-made. I say we have the ability to manipulate these things and indeed make them. They can start hurricanes and steer them and control the strength of them.
Yeah, so
They
what
can't
is...
start hurricanes.
I mean, not start, but they can modify, they can increase the intensity, they can decrease, I mean, whatever pollution we are causing, that influences. So that is the study.
Indeed,
That's what
there
we
is
need to
multiple
study.
things. I understand
that's
this.
what we need to
And
study.
then I'm saying, what I'm saying is, again, and here's another thing. And I ask this question to a lot, maybe you can answer it, maybe you can't. It's a basic question about the environment. CO2 is supposed to be the big boogeyman, am I correct?
Yeah, you cannot really.
Okay.
The only way to control it is have the oceans taking the carbon dioxide.
Right, it's the big boogeyman.
If you ask me that how to control it, I have no answer.
Well, then I'm just
You
asking
can.
this, and
Stop
I'm not going to
using
ask you the other.
Stop using
And
refrigerators.
indeed, that's a good question to ask, and a good answer if you gave it. But this is my question. Of the atmosphere right now, what percentage of it is CO2?
It's around 33 to 40%, depending on localities.
And that depends on what locality you are. Like, I was studying coal fire.
If you're in Dallas, it's
I will pay you good money to look that up right now just to prove you wrong. The amount of CO2 in this atmosphere, and it has been this for hundreds of years, is less than half of 1%. It is 0.04%.
Yeah,
it is a
it's-
trace element.
Maybe, I mean, like
It's not a maybe. Look
highest,
it up.
Yeah, the highest constituent of the atmosphere is nitrogen. That's being said. Like the actual percentage doesn't matter.
If
The
you-
percentage.
If it was
increase
30%, we'd all be dead.
See, sir, if you are looking at the global climate, that is a different thing. If you are looking in the environment of a particular locality, that's a different thing. Like, I'm studying coal fires, and because of coal fires, there's a lot of carbon dioxide emission in those greenhouse gas emissions. And that's influencing the climate. So
in that area.
Yeah, of course. That's influencing the environment.
Yeah.
And that is influencing.
But there's no way. It's like a flea fart on the back of a dog that it affects us.
Always a debate. It's always, and it's better to.
It's a debate, but they use it,
it's
and that's
better-
why I'm debating
no,
with you, and that's why I'm bringing this up.
There shouldn't be an answer to this. As long as there's a debate, we are good.
Well, why then would they make, of all the gases, all the poisonous gases that are out there, of all the things that they're putting, then why in the world are they picking on CO2 alone?
Let me graduate. I will come back to you.
Why that
Because
one
carbon
then?
dioxide essentially is a greenhouse gas. If you're in a,
But it's a trace element that doesn't affect anything.
I'm telling you why. If you park your car on a hot summer day and you leave the windows up and you come back a little later, the car is actually hotter inside than the climate outside. Agreed? So what CO2 actually does is it stays inside the atmosphere.
That
and thereby,
theory has been totally debunked.
Sir, hold on a second.
Totally
It
debunked.
stays in
You're
the
talking
atmosphere
junk science.
when-
That has been totally debunked.
I'm sorry, it's okay. We're doing a PhD in Earth and Environmental Science.
I have met
Yes.
a lot of educated fools out here.
It's all right. We can talk, or otherwise you can piss off, right?
As
I'll
I'm
piss
saying,
off then.
that look it up, that theory has been debunked. Just like you
deal
can't
with
say you
this.
can't measure, you don't know how to control. There's no way to go ahead and measure how the greenhouse gas theory. It's impossible.
Because you're
Plus,
not
again,
listening.
he brings up
You're just-
30%.
you're
It's
just-
less than half
you're
percent.
debunking
You don't
the
even know the
basic
basic
laws.
measurements of what the hell you're talking about. I mean, seriously, I ask you what percentage of the atmosphere is CO2. He brings up 30%. If that was true, everything here would be dead except for the plants. Oh, God. What educated idiots, man. I swear to God. Hi, how you doing, Jay?
That's what we want. What happened?
Oh, educated idiots. That's what happened. People that are studying PhD in environment, but they don't even know what percentage of CO2 makes up the air. It's a basic question. It's like, you know, if you're saying there's global warming and CO2 is the cause of it, how much CO2 is in the air? And they stared at me like I was from Mars. 30%? Jesus Christ, 17%.
Need a bigger stick.